Yodel Jumper.
Alright kids, lesson 4.4D. We're going to get on to a test today and check it out. We've got our bullet points here, a domain and range. Right here, see little eyeballs, and we've got all the alien. Talking about input-output tables. And we've got a linear and non-linear function problems that we're going to do. It shall be alright. Let's do this. Alright guys, here's an easy one. We'll take a look at this chart here. And we've got X and Y, and we want to take a look at what is the domain and what is the range. Remember, the domain is your X values and your range is your Y values. So you can go ahead and list those out, please. Our domain will be 2, 3, 4, and 5. And looking at Y, that is our range. We're going to go ahead and put that down as 4, 6, 8, and 10. Alright, we need to go ahead and put together this input-output table. We've got y equals 5x plus 4. Let's go ahead and substitute, and we want to substitute this x value for one of these over here. We'll start with minus 1, and we'll go ahead and plug it in. What is 5 times a minus 1? Well, that'll give you a minus 5, right? So minus 5 plus 4. And what do you get out of that? Well, the same thing would be is what's 5, or I should say, what is 4 minus 5? It'll put you at a negative 1 right here. So we're going to go ahead and put this right here as a negative 1. Let's go ahead and take the next one, which will be 0. 5 times 0 is actually 0. And if you add 4 to that, well, you just get 4. So we'll put that down. Take the next one. If you got 5 times 1, you get 5 plus 4, and that'll actually give you 9 over here. Okay? Right, in this last one, let's go ahead and substitute the 2. And let me write it out for you. It should look like this, right? You say 2 on this, and you say plus 4. Okay? And we do the math there. We have 10 plus 4. And then we'll get 14. We'll put this right in the bottom. And we've just completed the input-output table with the given linear function. Great. Right, kids, we're going to go ahead and plug these x values into this linear function. We have a minus 2x minus 7. And realizing that this is our slope, if we're going to draw a line, this is our y-intercept. Let's go ahead and plug it in. So we've got a minus 5 times a minus 2. If we write that out, minus 5 times a minus 2, we realize this is a negative times a negative. When we have two negatives and we multiply them together, we get a positive answer. So what's 5 times 2? That is 10. We make sure that we make it positive, and we're going to go ahead and take care of this over here, which is minus 7. So 10 minus 7 gives you a positive 3. Alright, so the first one's going to be 3. The next one's going to be a minus 4 times a minus 2. That gives you actually a positive 8, since both negatives make a positive. And so we're going to say 8 minus 7, and that gives you the number 1. We'll plug that in right here. That's the next one. I will do one more for you here. We got a minus 3. We'll plug it in for the x there and say minus 3 times a minus 2. Two negatives make a positive when multiplying, so we'll say 3 times 2. That gives us a 6. 6 minus 7, if I can write this out, that actually puts us into a negative. So this answer is a negative 1. Right here, we'll go ahead and put this down. I'd like you to go ahead and finish putting out this chart. You need this for the next step. To be able to graph this, you need all of your points. Alright, moving on. Alright guys, on this step you need to use your data from the table you just filled out. We're going to go ahead and put our plotted points on this graph. Remember that we have our x and y values here. This is our x. If I can write this out here, this is our x value over here, and this is our y value, our y-axis. let's go ahead and plot the points. The first one you're going to plot is a -5, 3. So you got to remember you're going to go down on the x value -5. So you hit here, and then you're going to go up to +3. So that is the point at which you go ahead and place your dot right there. And we'll continue with the next one on your chart, which would be -4, 1. So go to the left to -4 and then up +1 and place your dot. We're going to continue with -3, -1. So let's go to the left to -3 and down to -1 right here and place that. You can probably notice if you were going to draw a line through these dots, you would have a straight linear function here. Alright, and let's go to the next one, which is -2, -3. So over to the left, -2, and then down on the y-axis to -3, placing our dot right there, and then we'll continue. -1, -5. So over -1 all the way down to -5. We're kind of covering some of the numbers, but that's alright. And then the last one, which would be 0, -7. We don't go anywhere on the y-axis, the x-axis, but we go all the way down to 7, -7 on the y-axis. All right, so we can go ahead and draw a line through this, and I'm going to go ahead and do this in orange, and you can see that this should be a perfectly straight line. And you can see that when we write this equation out, this equation has a y-intercept of -7. This is the original one that we used to help us with the input-output table. Y equals, and we'll put this as -2x minus 7. And you can see right here pointing out, this is our y-axis right here. And you can see them both together. And remember that your y-axis is where the line crosses, your y-intercept, I should say, is where the line crosses the y-axis. Right, on this one we're going to take a look at this chart and try to determine if this is linear or non-linear. Let's plot these points here. We've got to take a look at the x and y. So the first one is 0 and then 2 on the y-axis. We'll plot that point right there. I'll try that again, be a little bit more accurate. I'm having trouble here. Alright, and then we're going to plot the next one. We have +3, up 5, so we go to up 3, and then all the way up to the 5th, right there, we plotted it. The next one we're going to go in 6, 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 3, and then the last one is actually, well, that's a little way off. This would be 8, and then 9 over here. And we're going to go all the way to 9 on the x and then up to 6. So 9 and then up to 6. So, I don't know about you, but if I look at this, I don't really see a line. If I tried to connect these dots, right, I'll connect them with green. And, yeah, this is not linear. This is non-linear. Okay? Then, yeah. Alright. Right, kids, add it up. What do you get? You've got these two different words. Alright, this last one that we got on for the end of the lesson. Let's go ahead and plug them in. We've got x's, and we put it into the linear function, and we'll get the y. So plug in the 3 for an x. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 3, and you get 9. And let's plug in the 4. 4 times 2 plus 3. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 3 is 11. Let me write that down. Then you go ahead and take 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. And the last one, 6 times 2, which is 12, plus 3, and you get 15. Please use these data points to go ahead, and you need to make sure you graph this. I'm not graphing it, you're doing it. Alright, guys, get ready for your test tomorrow. If you do these well, you'll be just fine and get a good score. Alright, cheerio.